Before this video starts, I would like to inform you that things you've missed is for people who are new into the series and are looking to get into it, as well as fans who are looking for more in-depth information of episodes that are aired on a weekly basis. If you already know everything that has been explored in this video, then there's no need to comment it in the comment section down below, because this video is not targeted towards you. With that being said, let's get on with the video. Welcome back to Things You Missed. It is a series in which I cover things which you might have missed. The previous video had a lot of good responses, so this week's one is a little bit more hectic. It's more spoilers for what is going to happen the next episode, and just more in-depth information about this episode 5, and we're going to talk about episode 6. But now let's start with number 1. Number 1 is a reference to Monkey D. Luffy in comparison to Mitsuki. So we know that Mitsuki has the ability to stretch, and because of that, it is similar to One Piece's character Monkey D. Luffy, and this is not the first time we've seen references towards One Piece in Kishimoto's work. In the last chapter of Naruto, he actually included like a Straw Hats pirate symbol on Naruto's headband, right, in the last manga chapter. And now we have a little Boruto special, that was drawn back in the day, and then we have Boruto asking Mitsuki inside the special whether his father was Monkey D. Luffy. But before he got to finish his sentence and say Monkey D. Luffy, he got interrupted by Mitsuki, which is kind of funny since Mitsuki is the person who is always interrupted before he finishes his sentences. Number 2 are going to be references again. Now, the first reference is the fight against the shinobi that went reckless, right? The one that went berserk. And the last moment when Boruto went to defeat him, he grabbed him in the position in which it's a reference to Sasuke's attack, which is pretty much what I call the pile diver, where he grabs you, turns you upside down and lays you to waste basically on the floor. And basically Boruto was doing the same thing, except he was just about to kill the guy, since the guy would have cracked his spine if he landed in the position that he did. And also Mitsuki said that Boruto was gonna die even though he wasn't. So that is a reference to Sasuke's pile diver. And then we have the second one, which is the way Mitsuki kicked Iwabe with his leg, how flexible it was. It is the same which it's the same kick which Orochimaru used to kick the third Hokage when he was fighting him back in the original episode. So just look that up. And then we go on to number 3. Now, number 3 is actually a surprise that no one knows so far. So there has been a light novel released for Boruto, right, and it is for the academy arc, and that gives us little bits of information, because obviously the books give us more information compared to the anime, or like say for example a movie, right? So it's about Sumire, the class rep, and the thing about her is that she is actually an orphan. Okay, so people are thinking maybe she could be the kid of maybe Anko, or maybe she could be the kid of the Anbu, which was in love with Gekko Hayate, but actually she is an orphan, and that is pretty much all you need to know about Sumire. She is the Hinata clone who is an orphan. Okay, also Kabuto is one of the people who helped run the Konoha orphanage. So that's number 3. Number 4 is the new. Now, this is all from the light novel of Boruto. Okay, now the new, or what we know so far from what we've seen from the shadows that Shino projected when he was possessed by the new, we could see that his face is like a monkey. So definitely that confirms the thing of it being a new. So that is confirmation. And secondly, from the light novel, we get information telling us that the beast actually has a purpose for what it is doing. It has a target, and it has a certain order to carry out. And also when Boruto summoned it for the first time, that was the first time it came from whatever realm it came from. So it does not belong in the realm in which Boruto summoned them, the normal realm, I would say. So maybe this is like a whole dimension thing where it switches. We don't know so far, but from the first preview we got of the whole body of the new, it did not look like it was in the dimension which every character of Naruto is based on, not in the normal dimension. So maybe it was in another dimension, and that is pretty much what we get from the information in the light novel. Now let's get on to number 5. Number 5 is something that I was gonna reveal, but at the same time I couldn't, because it was revealed in this episode, and that is that Iruka is actually the principal. Okay, he has taken the test and he has become the head of the academy. Now what this means we don't know, but at the same time it is more something good for Iruka as a person, because I think Kishimoto did not want to ditch all the characters and just leave them to do their own thing. He wanted to promote some of them, and I think the person that deserves the most is, I think definitely most likely Iruka. Okay, so you know, he became a principal, and congrats to him. Now let's get on to number 6. Number 6 is again from the light novel spoilers, and the thing is that apparently after Boruto, Shikadai and Mitsuki face off against Shino, what will happen is that a new mysterious figure will be making a debut, and most likely from the description from the light novel, it seems to be an Otsutsuki because it is wearing white clothing as well as having pale white skin and pale white hair. So that definitely matches the description of an Otsutsuki to me, and also the words that the person uttered were that, you know, it was harvesting time and that Boruto's planet is full of chakra, and it also says another dead planet with a Shinju. Now we have a person who matches the description of an Otsutsuki talking about chakra and also talking about harvesting. So, you know, we know that this is something that Momoshiki does, so maybe this is like a foreshadowing of Momoshiki and the whole Boruto Naruto the movie, you know, being foreshadowed. And also, according to the description, the person's eyes were closed, so maybe this could be Toneri, but at the same time it makes sense to be Momoshiki since he is the only person who can harvest chakra and is also talking about chakra. So my bets are on Momoshiki. Also, one thing that I'm left questioning is the fact that he says another dead planet with a Shinju. Does that mean that every planet has a Shinju tree? That is something to be curious about, but we will see in the next episode, and if not, the episode after that. Another thing to bring up about the whole harvesting and the dead planet with another Shinjin, maybe it is Momoshiki trying to, you know, look at another planet and harvest its Shinjin tree. Maybe every single planet comes with a Shinjin tree, and maybe that is where he got his Rinnegan from, because if you can remember, all Otsukis are born with byakugan and not the Rinnegan. So, you know, Kaguya got hers by eating the Shinjin tree from Earth, right? And, you know, Momoshiki already had his one, so he must have ate the fruit from somewhere else. And this whole line about the dead planet with a Shinjin tree, you know, says a lot about how he acquired his Rinnegan. And, you know, maybe this is just a theory, we don't know, but it's only one piece of text that we got, so, you know, don't overthink it too much. Number 7 is the reason why Boruto is so scared of Hinata. Now, in the first episode, he was panicking because he was late and he was worried Hinata would, you know, switch. And in the light novel, it was revealed that one time he did something which must have caused Hinata to switch personalities into the complete opposite. So, you know, so that made us scary, and since then Boruto has been scared of Hinata. Now what that was, I'm not sure of because I did not get enough information about the whole current, but that is pretty much number 7. Number 8 is Team Lee. Now in Boruto the movie, you can see Metal Lee along with 2 other people who are standing next to him wearing his outfit as well. So maybe that is Team Rock Lee, we don't know, but if anyone wears that outfit, it is definitely Guy or Rock Lee, and Metal Lee is wearing it, so maybe this could be Team Rock Lee, we don't know yet. Number 9 has to do with the ending of episode 5, and it's the reason why Shino actually chose Shikadai, Boruto and Mitsuki to come meet him in the forest, or at least in the park or something. And the reason is that apparently these 3 are the problem kids, the people who always cause trouble. Now Shikadai, I couldn't say that he's not a, you know, trouble causer. He just gets dragged into the trouble that Boruto creates because he gravitates around Boruto. And then we have Mitsuki, who uses his Winjutsu to blow away objects onto the school, causing one of these people to go haywire. So, you know, the reason why they are there is because Shino basically wants to kill them for ruining his plans. Number 10 is going to be the whole moon and sun thing that Mitsuki is talking about. So if you look at the moon and the moon comes out when the sun is gone and the sun comes out when the moon is gone. Now, the whole relationship between the moon and the sun is that they support each other. And with Mitsuki, with his story, after he got away from Orochimaru, he was finding his son. So he was finding the person to guide him towards his destiny, or maybe, you know, a person just to guide him to make sure he makes the right decisions and whatnot. And, you know, it is pretty much that is symbolism for someone, finding someone who, you know, you can trust and someone who can lead you to a better future. That is pretty much what the moon and the sun thing is all about, or at least that is how I explain it, or what I make of it. This whole moon and sun relationship makes sense because, you know, if your son is supposed to guide you to a better future, or to guide you to make sure you don't make any mistakes, then it makes sense why Mitsuki was listening to Boruto instead of Shino, because he said, I do not want you to dislike me. So, you know, this is something where he's seeking the approval of Boruto, and Boruto is supposed to guide him. So if Boruto says that whatever he's doing is wrong, then he will listen and do as Boruto says, and that is exactly what he did with apologizing to Iwabe after he tried to kill him. Also, one thing about Mitsuki is that when he was constricting Iwabe, he was just behaving like a snake. So you know, his mentality was just like a snake, and his target was to constrict Iwabe and stop him from breathing. And that is the same thing that anacondas do when they are attacking their prey. They constrict them and make sure that they cannot move any longer before they start to swallow him. And that is something similar here that was being portrayed with Mitsuki, and that is why when Shino was pulling him off Iwabe, he still remained in the same position with the same expression, because all his focus was on detecting Iwabe's heartbeat as well as restricting him and making sure he cannot breathe and stops moving. And then we have the last and final point, which will always be spoilers summaries for the next episode. It says Shino attacks Boruto and the others ? It says Boruto, Shikadai and Mitsuki were called upon by their teacher Shino. Suddenly, Shino begins attacking the three with bugs against the power of Shino, who's a teacher of the class Boruto, and the rest will what? We don't know. But underneath it says, unlike Boruto, Mitsuki did not lose his cool in the situation. In addition to observing Shino, he tests out things with Boruto ? So we have Mitsuki, you know, analyzing the whole situation, remaining calm just like a ninja and taking precautions. Now the whole fight with Shino, I think they are not going to take him down. They are just, you know, going to just knock him down, and the dark chakra is going to leave Shino. And maybe this is where Shino proves the fact that he is really strong, and you know, they should rate him because he is one of the so-called legendary ninja. So maybe this is the fight where Shino proves how much he is worth, and the people start listening to him now, because Boruto, Mitsuki and Shikadai are going to go back and brag about what Shino has done and how powerful he is, and maybe this is where he gets his respect. But with all that being said, that has been the things you missed for episode 5. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. Leave your thoughts and all that kind of stuff. If you are new, subscribe and hit that notification button, because I will be making more videos. With all that being said, I have nothing more to say. Bye.